What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James underscore 36, and this is Big Games BS brought to you by Den Media Group, presented by TheHumidor.com. TheHumidor.com is a go-to website for all things tobacco related. Go there, type in sports in that checkout, get 20% off. Once you get to over $150, which means you bought a box, you are probably going to get free shipping in the continental United States. Need y'all guys to go support my sponsors. Inside the greatest cigar lounge in the world, definitely in Jacksonville, as voted upon by the Boss Awards Cigar Lounge of the Year. Goodfellas Cigar Lounge. We about that action here. It's like Cheers with a little mob twist. Everybody knows your name. Good servers, good drinks. Cigars are getting more plentiful in stock. Living our best life, having a great time. I just realized it. What? My boy OJ came here for Valentine's Day, for VD. Oh, yeah. I hope y'all had a good VD yesterday. I hope you got the VD that you deserve. I absolutely hate that holiday. Not because I hate love, but it's not reciprocal. It's like just another holiday to have to go spend money on women. And it's like you have to build it up. And there's like literally no real purpose for it. Like at least Christmas, Christians try to make it about Jesus, even though he was born in the spring. And this holiday was to try to get the pagan Roman. That holiday was trying to get pagan Romans to kind of come over and convert. But like, damn, I gotta get some glasses. That's my next thing. But like, Mother's Day was made up, but I like celebrating mothers. Like like you literally risked your life to bring another person on this planet. You deserve a special day. You deserve to be praised every day, but I can see giving you a special day. Father's Day, which technically is Mother's Day 2.0. Now, especially with single mothers, like, it's cool if you recognize a good male. Thanksgiving is really just another harvest day. I get the social realm of the social things of that. President's Day, which we are about to celebrate this weekend, I get President's Day. And the reason why I get President's Day is because there's like 3 presidents with their birthdays all around the same time. And there were 3 like legitimate, iconic presidents. I get celebrating one day for them. Memorial Day. Hey, shout out to those who gave their lives for our freedoms. Veterans Day, shout out to those who are alive who give their lives for our freedom. I get those. Those are holidays where you literally had to do something besides exist to be able to get it. Valentine's Day is nothing more than another holiday to consume things that you don't need. Now, today is my favorite day. Some people call it Side Chick Appreciation Day. I call it the day that candy goes on sale. And because again, it's like the same doll or candy that you would have spent $15 for is $5 today. If you're a mature woman, right, and you're a fiscally responsible woman or male, why not just celebrate on the 15th? Let everybody. Do you know what happened yesterday? You couldn't get a good steak in the city of Jacksonville. You know why you couldn't get a good steak? Because all the broke boys or women have been saving up their money so that they can go out on this one specific day to be in a crowded restaurant to prove their love. I don't want to have to prove my love. I just wanted to eat a good steak. So instead, I had to participate in Taco Tuesday, which was cool because the tacos were a little bit better this week. It was better this time. Maybe it's the love in the air that made the tacos better. But now I got my son. Killer wants to give a special gift card to Penelope. I don't know who the fuck Penelope is. I was looking for, she's never there when I'm there. We have to ask these specific questions, and you'll see as we go on why you have to ask specific questions. Because, I got 2 handsome black boys. I just need to know, do I need to, have you seen the new Netflix movie with Eddie Murphy, What's it called?
You People?
You People, yeah.
Doesn't look good.
I'm gonna tell you this. It's uncomfortable, but it's not it's a rom-com.
Yeah.
It's an actual rom-com that's relatable to real life. All the rom-coms I've seen have been either really black or really, really white. And we live in a society where more and more prevalent interracial dating is becoming.
All-star cast Sanjay. She's the girl, her gay friend.
Yeah, so like she's funny. Okay. I think they kind of forced a little. I will say this: gay people live in America, right? But like, goddamn, I go on my everyday life. I don't interact with gay people every day. I do interact with white people every day. I'll see a Jewish person most of the time. I'll see, obviously, black people. I'll see some of my time. I'll see more of those people, but I don't outwardly see a person who's like gay like that. But like, goddamn, every movie, she was good though. It was kind of funny. It showed how more races are more apt to accept things like this. Like my mother still, I'm lucky because my people don't know what I do. They just know that I've never have to ask money to pay bills. So they're cool with that. But you got the Jewish guy who's in finance, stereotype that they killed Kanye for. And then he wants to leave finance to go be a podcaster. His family is not tripping on it. But you know what the black dad is? Oh, he's tripping on it hard. He's like, how you gonna take care of my daughter being a damn podcaster?
Right.
The podcast was funny, but then the gay girl made it weird. One of these things. Like where, she blamed the white man on everything. And it was something like, it's really, she said you can never, this was the weird part. You can never truly be a friend with a white male, right? That's what she said in this. But then she went on this bachelor party with him. And she was like, because you never, I'm like, that was kind of fucked up. I don't really feel like that. My son's godfather is white, one of them. And I'll say this, it's just a lot of different things that go into that are going to be uncomfortable truths until it becomes more normalized. It's hard. I'm gonna tell you this. You want to know what it reminded me of? Miles, it reminded me of meeting your people. Like, I'm fucking Project American, not Black American. Let me rephrase that. Let me back it up a little bit. I'm Southern Project American with the transplant with a mother from the Northeast talking to a bunch of fresh off the boat Spanish people that migrated to Boston, Massachusetts. I don't know. And I'm talking to a man that I can't understand.
A lot of people can't.
I'm getting better now. But on God, imagine talking to the Spanish Mufasa with a Caribbean accent. And he talks slow. His mom talks slow with a draw. So I can kind of understand her a little bit better than everybody else. I can understand Gagi, which Gagi came on later. But then the aunts, I was so frustrated in that they talk fast with the traditional Spanish accent, and they can't. And then when I talk to them like this, they don't understand me. But if I go and talk to them like this, they understand everything I fucking say, which throws me off. So it's the people that were offended that have never had to step outside of their box. So, the Jewish people are saying it's anti-Semitic, which I don't think it was. I think it's how people who don't understand another culture, and it gets thrown into their face, because that's what happens when you date somebody else.
Right.
It is cool. It's part of life. But you didn't ask, like that dad didn't ask to see his daughter with somebody else. So is it an Oscar-worthy movie? Hell no. Is it one of the best movies that Eddie Murphy made? Hell no. Had I went to the movie theater and saw this, would I be mad? Hell yes. I was on a plane flying to Phoenix and it was free. And I was just like, you know what? It ain't really that bad. It was just something, sneakerhead. It's a lot of things that were in that a lot of people like. But anyways, I say all that to say is, Lauren London would have probably been okay with. I don't know what the character's name. February 15th, Valentine's Day.
You know that kiss wasn't real with her and the guy from Superbad.
Yeah, I can't believe I can't remember his name. I love that guy.
Oh gosh.
Oh man,
But it was CGI.
really?
Yeah.
But when she got mad, I empathized for him because as a white Jewish male, he has never seen a black woman mad. And he has no idea why he's mad. He's talking to her in the same capacity as she's talking to him, but now she's getting offended. And that's what dealing with a black woman is like. I felt like in that moment, I saw the fear. It's kind of like
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill, that's right. It's kind of like one of my favorite music videos and songs. It's Freaky Friday by Little Dicky and Chris Brown. Music and entertainment can sometimes completely change your mentality. I still don't believe there's any way, shape, or form why you should use that word if you're the N-word if you're not an N-word. That being said, because it's called a house word for a reason. I don't go around my everyday life going around just saying N-word this, N-word that, N-word that. But then I thought about it with the way Chris Brown sang it from Little Dicky's perspective, like he woke up in a black man's body. It's one of the most versatile words of all time, which could be a bit confusing, which the American language is confusing.
Right. I express this all the time.
Because it's a bad word that could be good. It's just like when I say, yo, she bad. Oh, like if I told somebody who's learning the English language, damn, that I was about to say, damn, that bitch bad over there. Mm-hmm. Like, what did she do? What did she do wrong? Because bad actually means wrong. But in that context, it doesn't. But it's other languages that do that. My sister had to learn this because my sister is fluent in Spanish. She's majored in Spanish, but she majored in the Queen Spanish. The Queen Spanish can get you killed some places. Like in Panama, she learned that some of the things that are proper Spanish, you can't say to people.
Oh, wow. I didn't know.
It's like certain phrases, something might mean this here, but it's slang and it means something else in another place. Dialect, jit. I called a kid a jit up north. He got upset because he didn't know what jit meant. Jit in the South is short for jitterbug. Just means little person. But whatever. All that being said is, fuck Valentine's Day. Celebrate, go against the grain, celebrate on the 15th or the 16th, and live your best life. I have no idea.
Fun fact, Lauren London's dad is Jewish.
No way.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, she is light skinned. I had no clue. I just know her as Lil Wayne's baby mama and Nipsey Hussle's ex.
I didn't know that first.
Yeah. She was with Wayne. And Nip was basically raising Wayne's kids, which ironically, Wayne is a grad chapter blood. I call it grad chapter because some of these motherfuckers get rich and then decide to become gangbangers. Lil Wayne, when I was growing up, because Wayne ain't nothing but a couple years older than me. Go look at the Block is Hot Wayne wearing nothing but blue. And now all of a sudden he's a gang, he's a blood. And Chris Brown too. Why would you get rich and then decide to be a gang? Like, it's just like the boy I'm sorry, we're going way off track. Ja Morant, it's a pet peeve of mine. I hate it. I'm gonna slap the shit out of my sons if they do that. Daddy works entirely too fucking hard for you to want to be a gangbanger. Your dad lived in the hood and didn't become a gangbanger. Hung out with goons. We didn't really have a gang. Our neighborhood was technically the gang. Like, we just repped I guess that's technically, because like Rolling 60s is your neighborhood. But like that, it's not the same. It wasn't the same in Tallahassee. They got gangs now in Tallahassee out here, but we didn't have that when I was coming up. It was your friends that you hung out with, and we were deep. And we were active. But I wasn't in no gang. Like, we wasn't about this for life. I was like, my son want to talk about you a gangbanger. Bitch, all right, cool. You go do some gangbanging shit, and why I'm gonna let you live the full project experience. Get in trouble. I'm not putting my house up for no gangbanger. You go ahead and get that public official, that public defender. Let's go see how you beat that. You want to rep that? I'll still love you, but I'm not gonna go broke with my love for you. But all that being said, you people wasn't that bad. It was actually Eddie Murphy was more cringe, not because my father, for those who don't know, I talk about him. I don't tell you guys everything about him, but one day I could do a whole show dedicated to me and my father's weird relationship. My father's Nation of Islam. My mom actually worked for somebody, and this lady used to babysit me. They were Nation of Islam. I've gone to mosque. I've been there. I've eaten bean pies. Bean pies are actually pretty damn good.
No way.
Yeah, they're actually good. I've seen them sell the fried fish sandwiches and be out there in the black suits out there. My problem is I actually thought about becoming NOI when I was a freshman in college. My only problem is I really like pork. Yeah, I give a pork and white women. The white woman part ain't hard. The pork part is very hard. Like I fucking love pork, man. It's delicious.
I would disagree in the difficulty of those two things.
But listen, I get it. I get it. You're Spanish anyway, so like you can technically like do whatever. Like they don't care. They're mad anyway because they want you to probably find a good. Why can't you go find a good Panamanian woman or some shit like that? But
narrow down my
it's like you're going for 2% of the population. Remember we did the calculator?
Yeah.
Like you would be like, man, I got 10,000 women to choose from. Matter of fact, I never knew that many Panamanians lived in Tallahassee. Actually, it was a person I had been around my entire life, Deacon Harris. I had no fucking clue Deacon Harris was Panamanian. I knew he was Spanish. I just assumed he was like all Tallahassee Spanish people. We put all Spanish people in the same categories. My grandmama says you're either Puerto Ricans or you're Mexican. Mexican or Cuban. Only reason we put the Cubans, we knew you call a Cuban a Mexican, you better be ready to fight. Them motherfuckers hate that shit. Then I learned about Dominicans when I got to college.
They don't like being called
because
Puerto
Dominicans don't want to be called Puerto Ricans. And you damn sure, me no black poppy, me Dominican. No, bro, you are darker than me. Like you Haiti is right there, bro. Like if you go, matter of fact, if you go across from Haiti and try to come back in, they might not let you in because they think you Haitian. But all right, back on track here. The Super Bowl, look out my bad. We got big. Please try to get us to 2,000 followers. We're 1591. My bad, we're 1591. 1,000 people on my personal YouTube page. We'll start uploading more content. All of those different things. It's going well. Right now we're putting up a lot of Super Bowl stuff. We got interviews from players and things like that. And then, I'm doing this thing with IG Reels, just like I didn't realize you could just take all your goddamn pictures and just put them together and they'll make a reel of it. So that's cool. But I still want to talk about this Super Bowl, though. It was one for the ages. A new era, like I don't even know. NFL DOV Kleiman. I don't know if he's Jewish or not with that name, probably. A new era of young, talented quarterbacks was on full display last night. The future is bright for the NFL. And I just want to talk about Patrick Mahomes had 3 touchdowns, 182 passing yards, 44 yards rushing. It felt like he did a lot more than that. It was still good. But Jalen Hurts, I feel so bad that he played so well and lost, even though the loss could be attributed to the fumble that he got because that was one of the touchdowns. But to have 4 touchdowns, 304 passing yards, and 70 yards rushing is typically only the only time you'll see that is on Madden. Like the man played really, really well. You saw great tight end play. You saw a ton of good play on from everybody. And it's unfortunate. But, it is what it is. But hopefully we'll continue to see, because I think the NFL has a ton of young talent at quarterback, and more people are coming on board. You'll see a lot of these old heads are going the way of you know, the way the dodo bird extinct. Now, next year, I promise, I'm going to give the Tim Tebow. I promise that nobody will work as harder than I've ever worked. It's not a loss, but like I won't go as hard as Bally Sports, who just went bankrupt. But Bally Sports was right next. I was offended. We're on Radio Row. We weren't on it enough. And so people kept taking our shit. Like people literally they give you one table, right? With 2 tables, 4 chairs, 2 outlets. I mean, 2 what do you call those? Surge protector things. With a bunch of whatever the fuck that's called. And we would come in late a little bit. And you know what happened every time we came in late? Somebody had our shit. Like there was bags on our stuff. There was computers, and we had to kick people out. And you know who it was? It was fucking Bally Sports. So I'm glad your asses is going bankrupt. But they had an immaculate setup. They had the the poster board things that stretch out. They had fucking TVs. They had like the real good, like the 4K camera, like the one you can film movies and shit with. They had the Roadcasters. They had the earpiece. They had the real microphones with the little, like what I want to get. Oh, I saw that we can get the Rodecaster lapel mic, but there's like a little stick that you can put on it that makes it look like a microphone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was kind of cool. I saw that somebody had that. Asked them like, "Yo, where you cop that from?" And I guess this is iconic New York thing where you can go buy all video and equipment. It's like 2 stores, whatever. They have an online store, but I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, man, he's doing it big. Other people are doing it big. I said, you know what? Fuck it. I called Chris with Sporadics. I said, hey, man, we need to get this shit done because next year we're bringing the whole fucking crew out here. We are doing show after show live from the Super Bowl, even if it doesn't make sense. we will do a Sporadics live from the Super Bowl. This is a college football show. Why is it from the Super Bowl? Doesn't matter. We're just here. Plus, all the other shit. But Bally Sports is going out of business, and fuck y'all because y'all kept taking our spaces. And you took, even though the gum was trash, but you took my electrolyte gum. They put it on the table for us. Now, one of my goddamn electrolyte gum. But the Super Bowl next year, go ahead and click the second link, will be in Vegas. And Vegas is expecting, I think it's going to be more. Well, no, because there was 1 million people in Phoenix. One of the major golf what's happening. So they said there was 1 million people in the Phoenix, Tempe, I forgot the other word. Whatever area. But it'll be in Las Vegas. They're saying it's going to be 450,000 people expected to visit Las Vegas. And the tweet that I quoted, tweeted this is, and this is amazing, and this is true because I always say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and people go to Vegas for a variety of reasons. I didn't realize that Vegas was a truly family-friendly place if you make it.
Yeah.
They've got tons of attractions. I saw the Michael Jackson Experience. Patti LaBelle has a residency there. Usher has a residency there. A bunch of people. But you know what I learned about Vegas? Hookers on the point. If you grew up in the 90s and the 2000s, I don't know if they do it still now because everybody watches streams. But on Thursday nights at 11 p.m., after HBO debuts the new movie of the week, they show their version of porn. They weren't like Cinemax, but it was close. So you saw hookers on the point. So I thought the only reason people went to Vegas is the same reason that most men go to the DR. You're going to buy pussy. Yeah, but that's not the only reason you go to the DR. I learned that. It's not the only reason you go to Vegas. But you know what is there and what they typically turn the other way and look at? Because it's legal in both. But they look away from people selling pussy. So pussy would be sold unlike pussy's ever been sold before. Because it's already everywhere you go. It's like, before you get on me and say human trafficking, and I get it, that's terrible. But there's people, there are women, like I look at Twitter and Facebook every day. Some of y'all selling pussy and you don't even know it.
Oh.
And my boy Reggie posted a very good question. Is there any day during the year when women don't beg for fucking cash apps? I am sorry. I am not financing any woman that doesn't have the last name Coleman unless you're giving me something. What did this? Best believe I'm leaving here with something. It is not my job to take care of you and to protect you. That's why you have me. You know what? You want to know what a man who pays all your bills, takes care of you, loves you unconditionally without you having to do any reciprocation is? You know what he's called? Your fucking dad. Now, it's not my fault that a lot of y'all haven't grown up with that motherfucker, don't know who he is, but go find you one. And any of you simps that's out here buying this shit, stop it. You're fucking up the game for everybody else. That being said, Vegas is going to be fun. I talked to Scott. I think I'm supposed to go out to Vegas in March or April. He said, I don't know the date. I got to get it solidified before I get in trouble. But Scott knows somebody who has like one of the largest strip clubs. Excuse me. Strip club sounds vulgar. Adult chicken wing establishments in Vegas. It's on the strip, and I'm going to do it big. I'm throwing a fucking Super Bowl party, not like the game, but like actually, you know what? I'm gonna throw a party on the game. That's what we're gonna do. It. So trust me, Sports Den Media Group is gonna go, and we're throwing a fucking extravaganza. If you are in the $100 club, you know what you get to do. Get to come to that motherfucker for free. You experience it like me. I might even get you. We're gonna buy a bottle for you, and you get the drink. But don't buy it. I learned the game from Chris. Don't buy the shit February 1st and thinking you're gonna get in now. You gotta have that shit for a few months. You gotta be, we gotta be vetted. Chris is like, if you can't buy March 1st and then get this giveaway. You gotta have done it before. So like, you better, like, I'm gonna say, you gotta be a member for at least 3-4 months before we get you in. But I still don't understand why people have a gripe. I have no problem with, like, Godfather. It makes no difference with me how a man earns his money. Like, you know, it's the oldest profession. I've heard deaconesses and church mothers say a woman should never not have her rent paid if she's got a working vagina. But whatever. Going to something that I love talking about, and we'll get into some more Super Bowl things. The University of Miami, nothing. It's a tradition like no other. Actually, we need to get that Masters music, because a tradition like no other is kids decommitted from Miami, and apparently Miami, nobody wanted to coach for Miami. But Miami fired their offensive coordinator, who was the previous year's coach of the year. Want to know something funny? My girl Sheena knows him. We were talking about him. It was funny because I was like, small world. And she, she shared some stuff, but it was cool. Well, he got when he was at Michigan. Then he went to Miami and they were ass. They did the opposite of scoring. So everybody talks about, oh, we got bread, we got money, Miami. Welcome to Miami, Embanino, Ami, all that other shit. We got, but forgetting that the rest of us believe your coach is a lying-ass Cuban. Like, only you believe that your coaches and John Ruiz are big and bad. Nobody else is scared of these motherfuckers. So, you know what happens when you typically fire somebody? You have somebody to replace them. Psych, nobody. Every name that they've said that they've come in just said, nah, player, we good. Nah, player, we good. Then you go and you hire Lance Guidry, who's a good coach overall through his career. I only knew about him because Willie Taggart wanted to hire him as a special teams coordinator. But that was a special teams coordinator. You motherfuckers go and hire this guy as a defensive coordinator. When you have one of the brightest defensive minds in college football on your staff, and Charlie Strong. And meanwhile, why did they have to get a defensive coordinator? My OG Kevin Steele, who coached me in college, said, fuck this in this lying-ass Cuban. I'm getting the fuck out of here. On the first thing smoking, the Bama. So now they hire Lance Guidry, overstepping Charlie Strong. Charlie Strong says, man, fuck you, I'm out of here. So now you've lost 3 assistants. When you have spring ball in a matter of, like, Florida State spring ball starts March 6th. Those don't do math very well. That's like in a couple fucking weeks. And then Lane Kiffin, you know what Lane Kiffin is? An asshole. If you go look at your I sent you 2 tweets after this, so you just pull those up real quick. Lane Kiffin is I love Lane. Lane is a dick, but it's a good dick. It's like Wait a minute, is that? Oh, I need that audio later, but it's one of those links. Yeah. Yep. Put this up. No. Yeah, I need that. Not that. Before Lane, actually, we'll go with this. We'll go with that. Lane Kiffin puts up who his newest hire is. Nothing to it, right? Nah, James, that's just Lane being Lane. He's excited that he hired Kevin Smith. And Kevin Smith, I guess, coached with Lane at FAU. He left FAU to go over to Miami when, well, not right away, but Lane went over to Ole Miss. He eventually came over. Kevin Smith finalizing the deal, reunited with him. It's been an exodus this offseason from Kane's football staff. Was with Kiffin. Excuse me. He was with Kiffin at FAU. Went to him with Ole Miss to help recruit their star running back. Now, if you go to the next email, the one right after that, Miles, this is the troll from Lane Kiffin. Because this was written by, it was a CBS Sports article. Now, give you a little, I'll say it, then I'll give you the backdrop. He retweets it. He doesn't just retweet the article. Like he retweeted it from within the article. Because that's what happens when you have this wording. That means you went in the article and tweeted it from there. Charlie Strong, the fourth key assistant out at Miami as Mario Cristobal retools his staff in year 2 for him to go poach Kevin Smith, which means you lost 5 coaches. But for those who don't know, you only get 10 on-field coaches outside of the head coach. So he's lost half of his staff after his first year of coaching. 2 weeks before spring ball. You got to install the offense. You got to do all kinds of other shit. But Lane is petty as fuck. But let's talk about the relationship between Lane Kiffin and the lion-ass Cuban Mario Cristobal. They were both on the staffs at the Alabama under Saban. Lane Kiffin is what you call, and this is how you can beat, because people don't know, Lane Kiffin's dad is one of the GOAT defensive coordinators of all time in the NFL. He's the creator of the Tampa 2 defense, the defense that won the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the Super Bowl. He's really, really good. But what happens is your dad knows how to stop almost every offense. So as a kid, what do you learn how to do? You learn how to be able to attack almost every defense's weaknesses. It's also like why Daddy Harbaugh was a defensive guy. You got one son that was a defensive guy, guru, and you got another son that's an offensive guru. But Lane is so good but Lane is also what happens with savants and guys who are extremely talented. He's extremely lazy. He can rely on his talent. He'd fall asleep in meetings. He'd fart. He'd burp. And guys like Cristobal, who come from a minority background, and I'll say this, like his parents were probably hardworking and instilled a certain work ethic into them. And he got annoyed by that. And he was the consummate snitch. So Miami fans, you had a bitch-ass coach on your roster that was snitching on those who were getting it done. He'd fall asleep and he tried to tell him on Saban. And you know what Saban eventually told him? He woke Lane up and he told Lane to do whatever. You know what Lane was able to do? He was able to pick up right where everything was off. He was the offensive coordinator. He told Cristobal, when your ass can do that, you can go to sleep in meetings too.
Damn. I mean, capital.
I've always told people there's no such thing as cancel culture if you're good. Lane Kiffin is really fucking good at what he does. I'm sorry. Like, that's why Lane's been a head coach off and on since he was younger than me. Yeah, I remember he was I think he was the youngest head coach hired. Got booted from Tennessee and USC, and then went to Saban's rehab school to go to FAU to come back. But, just saying, that's the real thing with that. But going back to the original stuff, Miles, Miami fans, there is hope, though. He has hired an offensive coordinator, and the spin cycle is going. But I just want you guys, to understand who you've hired. And let's just get a little bit of his background, okay? For Bruce Feldman, source says Miami is set to hire Houston offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, Shannon Dawson as their offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Dawson has spent years under Dana Holgorsen, who was the coach at Houston, used to be there. Is that just so good? Oh my God, we're here. We're so happy, blah, blah, blah. Well, he's been at Southern Miss before he was at Houston. And what do fans say? Glowing reviews of this guy when he was at Southern Miss. I would rather sandpaper an alligator's asshole than to see Shannon Dawson call another play at Southern Miss. That is the bold of confidence. I would love to see that. I, as a Florida State fan, cannot wait for Shannon Dawson to come out here and start calling plays. University of Houston fans made sure everybody understood that he was relieved of his duties of play calling by Dana Holgorsen in the middle of the season last year because he wasn't any good. Sideline Sports Network of Houston says, for Houston Cougars, when the God sends you a blessing, you don't ask why it was sent. Oh my God. His weakness was bland, repetitive play calling. If I know what's coming, the defense probably does as well. I'd say his strength would be the development. He has helped the quarterback. It's amazing to watch. Can't really answer his recruiting. So it's just funny to see how fans of another fan base react and how excited they are about their new quarterback coach. Oh shit, we got another tasting. I'm about to be balling at the combine. Gonna have more food content. Man, I gotta start working out. Doc told me some good shit though. I was happy about it. Y'all gotta go to Alpha Male Clinic. Trust me. Doc got my blood sugars down. And my free testosterone is that of a young teenage male. I'm out this motherfucker. I was like, I sit there, I'm over here not working out. Watch me. I'm about beating this motherfucker look like 3'6" from 03 in a short amount of time. I just don't want the soreness. That's the only reason I haven't done it. But bottom line is Miami, and I love the fact that Miami is Miami. It's the coaching carousel. The Colts have hired a coach. We got Frank Wright, who I always want to say Frank White. Frank Wright was hired as the Carolina Panthers head coach. The Indianapolis Colts hired a new guy and a good friend of mine, Sean King, who I got to get on this show. I saw him at the Combine. Again, another one of those fucking immaculate setups that makes you jealous. But he has DraftKings behind him. I don't have that. King's so good, he moved out. They moved him out to Vegas he's doing a Vegas residency for radio, or for podcasting. But if you go to the first one, let's listen to the press conference from a coach whose name I'm not going to Shane. I'm going to say Shane. I'm going to say his name. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not even going to pretend. But you'll see you'll hear about his background, and and I want you to know, like, one thing I notice is about when I'm watching people, right, is we all have this twitch or something that we do. Like in poker, they call it a tell, right? This interview reminded me of Adam Gase's interview when he went to New York. But Adam Gase was like he looked like he was on a bender. But I know that I recognize that sound having been an entrepreneur in my youth. And people who make this sound make you money. So if you go ahead and push play on that, Miles, and we get a chance to get introduced to and then actually knowing this owner, he makes that sound too. But let's get
Steichen goes. He was pretty emotional yesterday when he was talking to the media. Take a listen.
Thank you to the players I've had the privilege to be around and coach. Thank you to Phillip Rivers. I can't say enough about how much you've had impact on me as a coach. So many great memories together, and couldn't be more thankful for our friendship. Thank you to Antonio Gates, Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert, and most recently, thank you to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, Zach Pascal, Dallas Goddard, Jack Stoll, Grant Calcaterra, Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, Kenny Gainwell, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Jason Kelsey, Isaac Suamala, Lane Johnson, Ian Book, Gardner Minshew, and last but not least, Jalen Hurts. Thank you to each and every single one of you guys. I would not be sitting here today if it wasn't for you. It's all about the players, and it'll always be about the players. And I will be forever grateful for you guys, and I wish you guys all the best going forward.
The push pause and whip on that. King is about to roast him. Now, granted, like he's just coming off of a Super Bowl, so I'm not. As the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, that was 12 sniffs. That was 12 sniffs, man. It was like he was like, you know, I want to thank because obviously he's with the Chargers first, so I want to thank Phillip Rivers. I want to thank. It was like the sniff was his punctuation. And he was in Phoenix. And coaches, let me tell you about this world. Coaches are not the pinnacle of Christianity that you guys try to make them. They have vices. I found out about another coach that I already thought was bad, but I feel like he's worse now. But like these guys have vices. There's cocaine. Just did the sniff. Because it reminded me of a story that, again, my colleague told me about the coach. Miami had a coach, offensive line coach a few years ago, not the University of Miami, because I can promise you that a lot of those guys are doing Columbia and Bam Bam. Oh, shout out to my former teammate, Derek Nicholson, who is the linebackers coach at the University of Miami now, just took the job. I wish you nothing but success, but I hope your team loses. I hope your linebackers perform very well, but I hope your team gets beat by 80 every week. It's nothing against you. I love you. I hate your team. And I think your coach is a line-ass Cuban. But the Miami Dolphins had a coach that got in trouble because of sexual harassment. But he did ask a black lady if he could snort cocaine off of her butt.
Oh, he brought her to the office.
Yeah, it was something wild. It was so wild. When I heard that, I was like, yo, and my girl was like, yeah, I've gotten that text before. I'd never want to live in a woman's DMs. I never want to know what it's like. I made this statement quite a few times at the combine to some of the women that were around us, and they were getting upset. And I told them, you know, you could always be ugly. And if you're ugly, nobody would really mess with you like this. But some of them were dressed, and they're dressed like Dave Chappelle says, not in the classical fine way, but like with the ass is out and the titties are smushed together, and like everything is popping out a little. You can see like half of a areola. You can see the upper half of the areola. You can't quite, and you're like praying that it will slip below the nip, and the nip would just pop out because it wants to breathe. But that's how they was dressed. But they were mad that people were kidding on them. I'm like, baby, like ain't nobody gay here. Like a straight heterosexual male is going to that's single, that thinks that you're available because you're dressed like you're available, is going to holler at you. No, I have a boyfriend. Well, your boyfriend is either the most secure man in the world, which is a lie, or he's a fucking idiot or imbecile, or whatever. My point is, my man is snorting. My man snorts a half a brick of Colombian Bam Bam before he did that. And knowing who the Irsay, who literally was arrested not that long ago for having a brick of coke and some pills and $50,000 in his car, it makes sense. He got they joked about Jeff Saturday being his drinking buddy. Well, he got his cocaine buddy as the coach. And that doesn't mean, I know a lot of high functioning cokeheads. Some of the best, want to know the ironic thing in the world, especially when I found this out, some of the hardest judges on drug offenders do drugs. It's wild in America. Prosecutors will prosecute you for selling drugs and go out in there and go in there and shoot up their veins with heroin. But let's talk about my guy King here gives his opinions. And I want people to know, this isn't fake. This is Sean. I saw Sean at the combine We didn't talk about this, but we talk about other stuff. This is how Sean is 24/7. That's why I love him. Sean King, former Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback, the first rookie to take a team to the conference championship. Been eating good, but my dog still was that guy.
Tell me how you really feel, Sean.
Oh gosh. I'm just gonna ask you, did anything in that press conference make you think, okay, this is a leader of men? Like
That's a hell
this
of an
is
indictment.
a justifiable hire at head coach in the National Football League. There are only 32 of these jobs in the world. I just didn't see it there. First, we got the sniffles. He obviously, I mean, you had to read the names of your players. Like you had to look down to remember Miles Sanders and Kenny Gainwell. Like,
I
mean,
think he just didn't want to forget anybody.
right. Which means I hope it works. I hope it works. This is one of the main issues I have with the hiring process in the National Football League.
Well,
just saying. You can't tell me he's a better interview than Eric Bieniemy.
So
Okay, so
let's
that's
go from
this
there.
is a different conversation,
Right.
but
Hold on,
I do agree, especially considering, and I know you can't take it all away from one game, right? But you have two coordinators on the losing side of the Super Bowl who end up
Both get
getting
jobs.
head coaching jobs. Eric Bieniemy, 5 AFC championships, 2 Super Bowls,
Right. I'm just saying.
no job for him.
Have you ever seen Steve Wilkes, who's the interim coach of the Panthers, at the press conference? That's a head coach. Like, and this is no offense to the was it
Steichen.
Steichen. I hope he does great. All I'm saying is, if I'm an Indianapolis Colts, I'm not going out. Or if I'm a fan, I'm not going out buy season tickets after watching that. Like, come on.
Yeah, that is a little bit unfortunate because you want to quote unquote win the press conference, right? But there's more. Okay, obviously
All
a
right, we
big
can go
part
ahead and
of
get
what's
that
going
and
to
get up the
in the
next
National
thing.
Football
He
League.
brings up the point that when I first saw this, my first instinct was everybody says Eric Bieniemy interviews bad. This man snorted that whole clip, the entire clip, including the commentary, was 3 minutes and 21 seconds. I think his clip was, can we say it was a minute, Miles, of him talking? He snorted 12 times in a minute. Before you say, James, you're being critical, right? Go to your job interview and snort that many times. I promise you, the person's going to, if somebody comes in here at Goodfellas and wants to interview with me, and they're like, I'm going to be like, do you like the way Coke smells? I'm going to ask, are you okay? All I'm saying is that Eric Bieniemy was an elite college player, has been an elite position coach, has been an elite college coach, that they have made every excuse for why he shouldn't be hired. Nobody brought up the fact, let's talk about what his issues were. One, in 1990 as a play, 1990 was what? Shit. In 90, are you 30 years now? 30,
Yeah,
30 you're 33.
Yeah, 33.
Holy shit. So 33 years ago, he possibly got into an altercation with somebody. 33 fucking years ago. It's never stopped him from working now, but it's preventing him from being a head coach, something that was 33 years ago when he's in the same league. Okay, as a coach of Colorado, they said that he was a part of, Colorado had a scandal in 2003. One of my good friends, Ashley Meyer, her brother Aaron is a friend of mine too, was actually one of the guys interviewed on the ESPN thing about this scandal. You know what the scandal was?
What?
They provided strippers.
Oh, I remember.
Do you want me to tell you guys what happens on college recruiting visits? I know the boy's mom is going to probably be appalled, but there might be something that me and the boys do on our own. If we go, might invite Theo Miles. Raunchy shit happens on recruiting visits, man. It's all sex fuel. They put you with 6 of the finest women that they can find to escort you all around fucking campus and make you believe that this is going to be your life. If you want it, you're going to have sex. If you want it, there's going to be alcohol flowing. Want weed? Weed. Want coke? Coke. Gonna give you everything that you want. It happens. I'm not judging Eric Bieniemy on something that happens at every fucking college. Hell, I remember Uncle Luke getting into it with John Vilma on Twitter talking about, I know shit. I know for a fact I was 17 years old when I went on my visit to the University of Miami. And you know where I went? I think we went to KOD, King of Diamonds. No, or Rolex. Rolex, that's what it was. And you know who took me there? Fucking Luke. He had titties in my face at 17. Sorry, Mom, you got to hear this right now like that, but just letting people know, it was titties in my face. And I liked it. That's when I knew that I couldn't go to Miami.
That's revealing.
Like, I mean, no, listen, I would have had a baby mama. I'd have had more than one. I'd have flunked out. It was amazing. And my best friend Jamila went to Miami.
But not a lot of people are really willing to put for a fact stuff like that happen.
Oh, it fucking happens. If it doesn't happen, my son ain't going there. You're not trying to win. Like, come on, man. Like, we trying to win. Are we trying to win ball games? Are we trying to go? Like, if I want my son to go he'll go to BYU. But you know what happens at BYU? The same shit. The only place it probably happens at Notre Dame is just the women ain't as fine at BYU and Notre Dame. But play this, like, Eric Bieniemy is got the best resume out there of all coordinators. Can't get it. And this and the guy who looks like the walrus. Yeah, we look at he looks like a human walrus. Waffle House looks like he's holding a Waffle House menu when he's calling plays. What is the coach that's only won Super Bowls with this coordinator? What does he have to say about this guy?
Eric Bieniemy was phenomenal also. Eric Bieniemy was phenomenal also.
Everybody wants to, and you know what he always says this? Everybody tries to give him credit. And all he does is tell people that Eric Bieniemy is the reason. But nobody will listen to him. White men, not all white. Again, this is some of you people don't get mad at this because this is to include you because you're poor. Rich white men listen to other rich white men at any given point until it's time for the shit like this. This man is literally telling you that this is the man as the architect and nobody will hire him. And I love my guy JJ who's with that other station. This is why people feel like this is why during our month, you hired a cokehead that lost, a loser, no matter how you shape it, a loser over the guy with the greatest resume, the best resume during our month. This is where people say you got to be, 5 times better, but even then you're not good. Even then you need luck. You can't compare the resumes. You know what they're saying now? He's only good because of Patrick Mahomes. Nobody says Bill Belichick is only good because he had Tom Brady.
They're trying to, and it's pissing me off.
But my thing is, I'd argue Tom Brady went to a great situation with another really, really good coach.
Right.
That's why he won.
Tom Brady wasn't even that good when he first came out. That defense was so strong.
And if we go back and we look at those Super Bowls, you know why New England won a lot? Great defense and Vinatieri. It's like me saying if Tom Brady didn't have Adam Vinatieri, we wouldn't know who Tom Brady is.
That's crazy.
It's stupid. It's asinine. This is why I'm like, when people say, why does it have to be black? Why can't they just be a person, an American? Well, bitch, what? Tell me why the fuck he ain't hired. This is like I'm telling, like, people don't get it. Like, when they tell you be good, right? You're good. You're really, really good. Why is he's not hired because of something 33 years ago in strippers? And the stripper thing was 2003, so that's 20 years ago. So you mean to tell me he's been hired in the NFL at every app, and he's never not worked? It's like if it was that bad, he wouldn't have a job, right? If you can't tell me that the cokehead, Adam Gase, they're all better interviewers than him? Can he not read? Like, at this point, we need to have the transcripts of the fucking interviews come out. Like, I gotta know. I just want to know what Eric Bieniemy could do better to get a head coaching job, and a lot of other ones. But there is something that has been said. Mike Tomlin said this. They still question the intellect of the African American at the quarterback position and to lead offense. And if you look at the black coaches that do get hired, right? You know where they mostly come from? The defensive side of the ball. So Mike Tomlin started, and this is what people don't know. Mike Tomlin started as an offensive coach. But then, same thing I do with police officers. I want you people to listen to me. Really, really good. My police officer friends will tell you in one space that things are justified and that there is no racism with the police force. But you know what they always tell me to do when I go out? Be careful.
Oh, not for like.
Because they know that there's dicks on the police force.
God.
So people will tell you that there is no issues, right? But you know what Mike Tomlin's mentor told him? A white male told him, they're not going to hire you as a head coach if you're on the offensive side of the ball. Switch to defense. And you know what ended up happening? Now, he's in a progressive organization. They're actually the reason why they have the Rooney Rule. The Rooney Rule is because of the Steelers. I'm actually wearing Steelers colors, but that's not because of the Rooney's in Black History Month. It's just I saw this sweatshirt. I wanted to wear it. I only got a couple more times, and I got the shoes to match. But whatever. It's just wild. I don't know. We've been going pretty well. How much time we got on that, Miles?
That. 57.
Okay, well, whatever. Head of Clock brought to you by Green Acre Sporting Goods.
Oh, no, we got
Head of Clock brought to you by Green Acre Sporting Goods. Go to Green Acre Sporting Goods. I have a AR pistol grip that I got to go pick up that's there that I love shooting. I got my pump shotgun. We got all kinds of stuff. Actually, we're not even going to talk about that because we talked about too much race shit. I want to stick to sports. We're going to DeMar Hamlin. So, DeMar Hamlin, still love this story. Man, when I tell you, this man, I'm going to play this video because I want you guys to see this because first people thought he was a clone. I don't think clones move like this. Man, when you almost died, and I can empathize with this, man, you don't want to deal with bullshit anymore. You just want to be able to go out, have fun, live your best life, and rock this. Do you see that jacket? I like the color schemes.
That's about it.
I thought, it's maybe, I thought it was kind of fly. I can see why people wouldn't wear this because it's very artistic. It's artistic expression.
Yeah.
One of the things that has happened in American culture is that Americans, you can go pull up the other stuff. Americans have literally used capitalism to express themselves or express their religious beliefs by using capital punishment as actually we don't need that one. Using capital punishment as a form of why they want to, I'll come to that afterwards. Why they want to go and they want to express their love for Jesus by rocking a you can put that up, by rocking a Jesus piece. And the Jesus piece is always Jesus on the crucifix. One of the most excruciating ways to die. Do you people realize that? That's the equivalent of, even though we had a record company, but imagine like if you're like, imagine your granddad died in the electric chair, right? And you want to honor your granddad. So I'm going to wear an electric chair with my granddad in an electric chair. That would make no sense, right? We'd be like, nah, that's probably not the best way to honor this guy. Like maybe honor him through the way that you live. Try something crazy. Oh my goodness, were the Christians upset? He should be thanking God because he is who got him. He who has helped him rise. So this man's had to face being a clone. And now he's got the Christians coming at him, and but you know what the designer of that is? It's a Christian designer.
Right. I don't find it blasphemous.
They said it's blasphemous. Like, without realizing that's not how Jesus looked anyway. The Jesus that y'all always rock is Caesar, what's it? Let me make sure I say it right because, y'all are coming like, James, you didn't say it right. the depiction of Jesus we know. Make sure I say it right. What's so funny is the person who Caesar Borgia. So much so that y'all made this thing called the Shroud of Turin, right? Which is supposed to be the burial wrappings of Jesus.
Okay.
And they're saying that, you know, it was like a nuclear blast is what got Jesus out of the tomb without the thing moved. That's like how much force God came into the tomb with. So again, people, I know this shit, but I'm just letting you know. But they said that it left an imprint of his face onto this thing. And it just so happened to look like Caesar Borgia. It just so happened to look like a Roman guy century, like a while later. Do you not? I'm not here to question anybody's religious faith, but what I'm saying is Jesus in the Bible was said to have his hair was like wool and he had bronze feet. The man looked like a goddamn Middle Eastern person. And you're mad that, and also, let's be real. There is, like the guy's kind of face. If you look at the picture that's on the back of his shirt, the face is kind of crazy, right? Have y'all seen how people look like when they've been tortured, battered, beaten? You want to know the truth, Christian people? Go look up pictures of what Emmett Till looked like in his open casket. You want to know the reality? If this indeed happened, he probably looked more like Emmett Till and probably looked more like that picture than what you're willing to admit.
And you thought that racist Mel Gibson thing was art. So we see what type of person he really is.
And he's a piece of shit. But my thing is like, this is what, so Adrian Peterson is the one who took to, this is the fucked up part. It's never the good ones, right?
Yeah.
It's never like a really good example of a person. My Christian morals here have been compromised. I've got to fix this. I know what I'm going to do. I am going to step up. And what did they say? He who was without sin cast the first stone or something like that. Devout Christian, child abuser, and father of 7 kids by multiple women, Adrian Peterson. He finally apologized. He said he couldn't do it, but he apologized to Damar Hamlin for telling him he isn't Christian enough because he wore a Jesus jacket to the Super Bowl that he didn't like. And then all the people in there are like, it's just like, I won't lie though, the best prayers that I've ever heard are by the most sinful people. They're the ones with the most Our Fathers, and they know every name for Jesus or God. They'll put it in the prayer. And then they'll go to the strip club right after that and do some of the most diabolical shit right afterwards. I'm going to be honest with you. Jesus was probably reading Instagram and was like, hey, man, I don't really need you. Hey, I appreciate, AP, I appreciate you, but like, sit this one out, champ. Let's get Joel Osteen or somebody to come over here and say some shit. Let me try to find the original, the Instagram post. Okay. And he posted a picture, and it was like, oh, he said this is when he cleared it up. But he said, nah, I don't want that. I don't want the clear up part. I want the real post. I want the real. Oh, they don't have the real. So whatever. But the point is that this is what the Christians were upset about, right? Now, let me see if I can find. And an apology is fine. The only person who has to accept the apology is Damar.
Right.
It's not about me accepting it. Fred Taylor got on there and gave his stuff, but Fred Taylor did do the OG thing. Say, I don't agree with the jacket, but maybe you should go reach out to him and figure out what it's about.
Right.
Matter of fact, this is what Adrian, he said, but Taylor, wait a minute. Can't find the original thing. People are like, you should be thanking God, son. This is blasphemy. We all fall short, but come on, man. I find that disrespectful, grateful, #God did. Now, what he was wearing was a $3,150 jacket. And, you know, hell, I whatever. I wouldn't have paid $3,000 for it, but, you know, whatever. Now, what's wild is this. The things that Jesus stood for. Changing the world, changing the kingdom, bringing people together, uniting them, right? And Christians attempted to do this at the Super Bowl. So if you go click on the link next. So there was something that, again, actually put up my tweet that I put, because I want people to read this. And I stand on this. Yeah. I don't watch Super Bowl commercials for a reason. Because I think they got played out. It's been a while of stuff. But I'm so glad I don't watch Super Bowl commercials and that Jesus doesn't either. He'd be pretty upset that in the age of internet that someone spent $20 million on Super Bowl ads and upwards to $100 in total for production and the Super Bowl ads for a commercial to spread the word about what spread his word when they could have just went to actively acting on it. What's funny is your people are so upset about what Damar Hamlin is wearing, as opposed to reaching out and trying to convert, that you are missing the fact that they put now if you go to the link, Miles, it's the last one. There was a He Gets Us commercial. Jesus was anti-capitalism. Do y'all realize that? He would not spending $20 million on a fucking commercial. It's under the Damar Hamlin thing, the same thing. It's the last clip. So He Gets Us commercials, and who's behind them? They raised over $100 million. They put like they've got billboards up, not that one. And Jesus was a refugee, He Gets Us. It's right after that, I think. It's just a link. No, it's not Twitter. It's not a Twitter link. It's literally a website link. Like right under the TMZ thing. With Damar Hamlin under TMZ.
Okay.
You see twitter.com/#TMZ and it says, what is the He Gets Us Jesus commercial? It should be that. Like go down. I actually keep scrolling. Right, go up a little bit. That's not a lot. That's a lot of bit. Down a little bit more. Down. Right there.
That's not a link.
Oh, it's not linking? All right, yeah, well, I guess my bad. That's why. But I don't know why I didn't hyperlink, but whatever. They have a bunch of different ads and they discuss how He gets us. There's like one with a person in the KKK surrounded by people protesting. He Gets Us. And the organization is, LGBTQ behind that. It's like, this is the crazy part is they plan to invest $1 billion over the next 3 years to market Jesus to the younger generation. I'm offended. And not offended that Jesus' name is getting put out there, but like, what better way to, like, why don't we just take this money and do what the fuck Jesus did? Go feed the 5,000.
No. Too much.
Go, don't host rallies. Don't do this. Go reach the masses. With $1 billion, you can do it. $20 million. How do I know I do it? With a lot less money. With what you paid to a secular institution to be able to promote yourself, you could have literally taken that and transformed their lives. You know why people convert to different religions? Like, they feed them. They meet a need. Like, if I'm starving, I'll pray to whoever you tell me to if it's gonna let me eat. And I know that's not really the whole the thing for it, but it's like developing a relationship. I don't know if I don't know how many people are going to be like, there's no call to action with this. There's no church to overflow them to. There's no outside of promoting this. And then if you look at what the organization supports or tweets and puts out, it's all anti what they're talking about. Which I have no problem with your politics, but it's all extreme conservative things. It's not like both sides. They claim they don't like left or right, but like your leanings are right, and that's your prerogative. But I'm just saying, like, don't you think Jesus would have been like, hey, let's take this $20 million we raised and not give it to the NFL? Who most of the, like, I promise you this. The only people who liked it were already Christian. And that's because the Christians don't read the Bible for understanding. They read the Bible to feel good. Because Sundays is nothing more than motivational speaking to make you feel good about all the hell that you raised. Because what happens is when you leave on Sunday, on that night, you're gonna beat your kids. You're gonna be mean to your wife or to your husband. You're gonna go into a job where you're always complaining. You're not serving your leader or your master, which is basically your boss. You're going to do everything anti what that book is saying. But then you're going to do a lot of judging, which is what you know who Jesus was kicking it with? Jesus would come to Goodfellas. If you read the parables, if you read the book, Jesus was hanging out with those who nobody else would hang out to. And I think that's what gets lost. It would have been really cool to see a bunch of I'll be honest. You know what I would have liked to see? The $20 million? I'm going to give you my opinion. One of the most effective forms of marketing, and one thing I want to do if I ever get this thing off the ground and how I grow my brand, I don't want to spend $20 million on commercials to tell you to download my podcast and to listen to me. I like grassroots marketing. The street teams was the best invention that came out of hip hop that people have gone away with. You know, when the album come out, they would have vans wrapped with the album name and this, that, and the other. And they would hand out free copies of the album. They would do listening parties. They would do a bunch of different things that they went to where the music came out of, to the heart of it. And if this were truly about reaching souls and not vanity, you would have went to where the heart of the people were at. You would have took that money and went to the people. That's what I would be mad at if I'm a Christian, not some jacket that's a depiction of Christ. When the one thing that everybody tells, the argument that, you know, who's the most mad outside of Adrian Peterson, who beats the fuck out of kids and possibly his baby mama and then has CTE. The same people who will go out and say, you know, why the white people, I'm going to say white people, poor white people, poor whites are the ones who are mad. Not rich whites, not all whites, poor whites. So if that's you, I'm talking about you. I don't care. Stop listening. But they always have this righteous indignation, but they never back it up with what they want to with what they want to do. But you're mad at a kid rocking something. And what the poor whites will always tell you when they bring up, like, again, why I got to be about race. And then when you show them the book, like where it's in the scripture, it says this motherfucker was probably black. Let me put it to you like this. Jesus was born in the spring, not the winter, but Jesus was born. King Herod said, I need to go back to doing Bible stories with James. King Herod, I like to say it like that, said he thought his throne was about to be taken. So he said he wanted to kill all kids under 2 years old, because just in case he missed it. That way you ain't gonna, all boys under 2 years old, that way I ain't gonna miss nobody. So Mary and Jesus' stepdaddy, Joseph, picked up and they fled. You know where they fled to? They fled to Egypt, where they blended in. Even if you don't believe the fucking hieroglyphics that are on Egyptian walls, where everybody was darker than me, and you believe that they look like the Egyptians now that had a little creamer in their coffee, it's still not Caesar Borgia. It's still not a white, blonde hair, blue eyed Jesus. You know what happens when you have a white, blonde hair, blue eyed person in fucking Africa? You know what they do? They stand out. It said they fled to Egypt and they blended in. And that's where he lived until they came back. All I'm saying is that they always come and say, well, you know, none of us really truly know what he looked like. Where's that energy with the damn jacket? We don't know what he truly looked like, right? Isn't that what you said? But now you're mad. But how, so if we don't know what he truly looked like, how is this blasphemous? I don't know, man. I know what your religious background is and what your leanings are. by how you live your life. I don't give the best Christians, some of the best Christians I know are Muslim. But I'm going to end it with this appreciation. It's a coach, and this is, Black History Month. I'm a big up a woman coach who I believe could be the GOAT of all coaches when it's all said and done. I want her to coach the men's Olympic team. And that's Dawn Staley. Dawn Staley is, I guess she's from Philly, or she was rooting for the Eagles. She wearing her Philadelphia gear. She ain't got to dress like you want her to dress with. She gonna say what she want to say. She gonna coach how she want to coach. The South Carolina women's basketball team is so badass that they played LSU, who has arguably one of the best players in the nation. It was number 1 versus number 3. What would you expect that score to be like, Miles?
Tight game.
Tight game, right? 20-point blowout. Every team that they play is going to get their ass whooped. She's so good that the old goats don't even know how to let it go. Like Gino from UConn is like, oh, they don't do it the right way. You know what she says? Fuck you. I do it my way. She is so badass. It is amazing. My boy Big Sarge put the South Carolina women's basketball team is a walking mismatch for everyone they play. They are really good. I mean, like, they are like what everybody should be talking about good. And this is why. And this is why I like Dawn Staley. Matter of fact, Dawn Staley's so good that if she does she should just do a basketball camp. Not a women's basketball camp. Like maybe for high school, because that's how you got to recruit. But just a basketball camp. I would send the boys there. The problem is y'all got league dreams with a backyard work ethic, and your parents applaud it. You are right, coach. To coach Bobby Bowden, to quote my old coach, it is not, the kids have not changed. The kids are going to always be the same. It's the parents that have changed. So Dawn Staley, tip of the cap to you, ma'am. We appreciate you. And lastly but not least, it's 2 things I want to end it with. Actually, just one. Miles, if you go to the email, and it's the one where I had 2 attachments to it. And this is the alpha male moment. Alpha male Jacksons. Let me tell you about my sugars. My sugars are at 6. They were at 8 when I first started working with Doc a year ago. My free test, everything is down. My cholesterol is normal now, and I'm not taking a bunch of pills. I'm literally going based upon what they say, and I'm doing it to the best of and I'm not even doing it to the greatest ability. Like I just said, I ain't working out. But what they're going to do is they're going to make sure that you're the best that you can be. Blood work, they're literally looking at your blood panels. And I remember this time last year, this is when I started. Buddy literally looked at there and said, hey, man, you have something going on in your blood. You have an infection. I didn't know. He gave me an antibiotic, and I was feeling like shit. But all of a sudden, I felt better. And once he gave me that goddamn antibiotic. And that's what Doc is like. You need to go to alphamalejacks.com. Check us out on Twitter, all the different things. They're going to make sure they give you a plan so that you can be the best you. It's not about ED treatment, but you can get that if you need it. If your dick not working, they'll fix your dick. But it's about being younger, being vital, and living your best life. But can we show that video? What is it? But this is the most alpha male shit. This makes me want to move.
Two people can just
No
go
idea that this
mutual
happened.
combat. We're going to go out. We're going to fist fight. I've seen this happen on 6th Street in Austin.
Yeah.
2 guys call mutual combat and there's a cop there and they tell the cop, hey, this is mutual combat. We've agreed to it.
Cop's
And he's like, stay out.
Now, Texas is crazy. Florida's getting crazy like this too, because Florida now has a law where they're trying to enact a law to where you don't have to have a concealed weapons permit to be able to carry a gun. Georgia enacted this. Texas has this as well. But I didn't know Texas had a law to where if me and you, I want to challenge you to a duel.
Yeah, that's pretty well.
And we go across the street and we tell the police officer we're going to engage in mutual combat, nobody goes to jail. As long as and a lawyer comes on this TikTok afterwards and says, as long as it's I think it's aggravated assault. That's all you can commit. Like
Okay.
y'all agreed to that. Like if you take it over to the next level, like you pull out a knife, you can't sword fight. You can fist. If somebody shoots, then it becomes like, so what's crazy about it is if me and you bump, right? And we agreed and we told the police officer we agreed to bump.
Right.
And you lose. If you come and try to see me in the streets and fight me again, or if you try to kill me, now it's premeditated. You get murder one. But I think I think the world would be a better place if this were enacted. Because a lot of times the problem is that people can't be held accountable for stuff. And accountability is what is really what makes us different than the animals. And that's because you have rules, but rules are nothing but suggestions if you don't have accountability to back those things up. So that's the show for today, man. It's still I don't know, man. It's just so much shit we didn't get into. Just funny. Wow, getting off on tangents, off season. Combine coming up. Make sure you continue to check out. Now, again, the Super Bowl coverage is dope. Become a member of Den Media Group on YouTube. The lowest membership is $3.99. What we're going to do is start having off the main timeline of YouTube content go up there. When we do interview series, when we do other different things, they'll be available to members first. There's 4 levels of membership. The $99 membership, that's the one that will get you access to bowl game parties. You come hang out with me at the Super Bowl, hang out with me with tailgates. Anything that we're offering, you get free access to. You get to live like big game. I don't think 1,000 people are going to sign up for that, so I think we're pretty safe within reason. But the other memberships, if you're in a 3-6 Mafia, we'll make sure you get you some gear. That's the $34.99 a month, and there's a $9.99 one a month, and those are just increased access. So everything that you do to support the channel goes back into the channel. It also goes into the different nonprofit ventures that we're going to do. Hopefully today or tomorrow we'll have a big announcement of a partnership with the MFTK Foundation. So I know we got a basketball game this weekend. We're taking 200 kids to the FSU men's basketball game and to the women's basketball game on Sunday. So if you would like to support that, best way to support it, go buy a membership in the channel. That's how we do these things. I don't want to get anything for free. You're helping me out. I'll help you out. Appreciate you guys for chopping it up with me. We will see you guys next time.